Hi, so today let's take a look at the encircled cross or a wheel symbol. And let's go straight to the images and to the basics. And then I will share some personal stories with this beautiful symbol. Here we can see some images of crosses in circles and double crosses in circles. These are among the most ancient depictions in cave arts and petroglyphs. There are many examples of encircled crosses in the ancient arts. They probably represent the sun cycles or the unity of heaven and earth. And some historians and researchers speculated there could be a connection between encircled crosses and the tree of life, because crosses and snowflake type of stars have often represented trees. And circles stood for the sun or the world as a whole. In magic, equilateral cross represents the unity of space and time, but also the unity of basic worldly directions and the basic elements. And it has a grounding quality to it, but also highly shielding quality. And when you encircle it, its energy is symbolically concealed by another protective symbol, another energy shield. So when you encircle a cross, it becomes a wheel. And when looking at a wheel, whether in motion or still, our attention usually goes to the crossing point at the center. And it's the center from which we can steer the wheel symbolically. The center could be compared to the fifth element or fifth direction, the key in and out of existence, the key to ourselves and the key to the world. Encircled crosses or wheels of multiple spikes also symbolize time, fate, and karma. This is in many mystical schools and philosophies. There are the wheels of fortune or the wheels of destinies or the karmic wheels. And in Buddhism, it's the Dharma wheel or the wheel of life, where the detachment from this reality can be reached from the center. The center being the source that makes the wheel turn. And it's only once we take a hold of that central spike that we reach enlightenment. So the encircled cross or a wheel has this quality of guiding us through our lives, through our experience, our incarnation here in this physical reality, in this dimension or matrix. And in my experience, it also guides us to understanding our purpose here, why we came here, and also our life calling, because that's connected to that. So oftentimes, like what it helps us discover our calling. What is that inner bliss that we are meant to follow? What fulfills us? What makes us feel whole, like the encircled cross or the wheel. And I had this experience when I was in my late 20s and I went to finish my master's degree in London. Because the encircled cross or the wheel symbol started to pop up on my path everywhere. And at first I didn't understand why, but I knew it meant something. It was an important synchronicity. And later, or now in hindsight, I can understand what it represented, because around that time I started to explore more, like, what is really my calling? What am I supposed to do here? Like what path to follow, also career-wise. And I was still a little bit lost, but I really wanted to find that calling. And all I knew is that I should follow my bliss, what makes me happy, which is writing. It always has been writing since I was quite young. So I applied for media writing in London to finish my master's, because my whole family is in the film business, so the film naturally attracted me, and I wanted to study screenwriting. But then as the wheels of fortune started to turn, I realized that my path is in the literary form of writing. That's where I find most freedom, most enjoyment. And I have, before I started to study film. I wrote several books when I was a teenager, and I was just always interested in the literary form of writing, but I didn't have like the confidence. I thought that literary form of writing is just too daunting, that I'm not good enough. You know, it was lack of confidence. I thought that the script writing is easier, and that for some reason like it would be easier for me, but it wasn't really. And when I realized that it was like a bag of creativity that has been suppressed just tore open, and there were suddenly all these ideas that I had for books, and I started to write like a maniac basically. The encircled wheel, or the encircled cross symbol, was there for me to remind me of that. And when I started to focus on it more, or contemplate with it, meditate with it, it was when I realized, yes, this is my path. And it also, the synchronicity guided me to certain people that helped me on that path, and to important places, to important situations, that helped me see that that's where my heart is, that's where my spirit is the most comfortable. And as I mentioned during the slides, the encircled cross naturally draws our attention to the center point. And that makes it a really powerful meditation symbol when we wish to connect with our innermost self, innermost guidance, and also to that place within that is eternal, that is beyond this space and time, that is beyond all limitations. It's basically, like I said, the way out of these karmic wheels, or wheels that may feel like an kind of an entrapment in this matrix, let's say, or this dimension that can be difficult at times. So meditating with it helps us connect to that divine innermost self that just is omnipresent and always exists, and follows no rules and follows no limitations, and it's always there for us, you know, on our journeys here through this lifetime. And I had this profound experience with it as this kind of a meditation symbol after my cat Thor passed away. It was just such a difficult period. I was in so much grief, and for some reason staring or gazing or meditating with the encircled cross and the wheels made me feel better for some reason. And then I realized that it pulls me into that omnipresent eternal self. And from that center, I was able to connect better to Thor's spirit, because even though I'm already quite used to connecting with spirits, and since I've been working more with my psychic abilities, I became more like used to these inner conversations with my deceased loved ones or my spirit guides. I just couldn't connect to Thor because I was in so much pain, so much grief. And so meditating with these encircled crosses or wheels, also this one that I have here that my mom painted, and this one helped me as well. It's basically like an 8-pointed star. It has all the versions of 8-pointed star, but it's encircled, so it's this wheel symbol as well. And it just helped me connect to Thor's spirit. And then it was like a miracle. I suddenly like received all this information, and he told me that he was not ready to leave. He wanted to incarnate and return because our journey together wasn't over. It wasn't finished. So he was quite clear on coming back, and he gave me some specifics. He said that he would return on the 20th or 21st. He didn't mention the month, but he said Sunday or Monday, 20th or 21st. And he was quite specific about the time. He said at 3 p.m. And he also said he would be found at what he referred to as the House of Beads, which at first didn't make any sense. But I also had this sign from him in the night. Suddenly, like one of my bead decorations just suddenly like broke, and the beads fell all over the floor without anyone touching it. So it was a sign that the beads were important. And then he started to show up in my dreams, like picking different cat bodies. And towards the end, he decided on about a month old gray striped kitten. So I thought, okay, he will probably come as a gray striped, about a month old, so really young kitten. And then there were some other things I was guided to do, which I'm not gonna get into now, before he could reincarnate. But I understood why the Encircled Cross and Wheel was such a help, not just in the way it helped me connect with Thor's spirit, but also because he actually really returned like exactly a year after he passed away. So it was like this whole cycle, his little reincarnation cycle. And just as I was reading my diary and kind of like feeling all sad about him not returning yet, I realized it was 21st, it was Monday, and exactly at 3 I received a message from my neighbor saying that she found a kitten at her work, and if I wanted it, because I actually told her I'm expecting Thor, so she kept her eyes open on any possible kittens. Had I not told her, it all kind of like worked together. So I said, yes, please bring it over. I will check out if it's Thor. And so she brought the kitten over, and it was Thor. It was Thor. It was his eyes. It was a gray striped month-old kitten. It was just incredible, the eye contact. Like, I recognized him immediately. And I was just in such bliss to have him back in my arms. And what was so amazing to me is that the company where she works develops glass products, and among other things, glass beads. And also the name of that company is Avantor. So there was even like the name Thor in the company's name, but also like the Avantor kind of reminded me of Avatar Thor. So like Thor coming back. Yeah, and it's just been like after so much pain, it was such a blessing to have him back in a new incarnation. Now he's in a female body, so he's Thora, but he's just like Thor. Like, for those of you who have animals, you probably know that like each cat like behaves differently, has its own character. Not all cats behave in the same way. So Thora behaves really just like Thor, and just these little things that only Thor used to do, she does. So the Encircled Cross and the wheel symbol is really powerful when it comes to shielding, meditation, to connect with that innermost self and innermost guidance, and that divine spark within that center that connects us with the whole. And if you had any interesting experience with the Encircled Cross or wheel symbol, please let me know in the comments. I would love to hear it.